And so, to the second question first, and I'm just going to answer these really briefly, and then I will pass it over to Ben to also address these questions. The right to practice traditional ways is the right of your communities. Rights of nature is meant to, is a way to also enhance and to support those natural ways of being and living with the land. This is not a tool for anyone to come and challenge your sovereignty as communities. And in fact, in the non-native communities where we work, where they have used rights of nature provisions in the law, where they've created laws, they've used the rights of nature aspect in practical ways. And some communities may not even see this rights of nature as something, as a broader understanding of their relationship with the rest of nature. Not yet. We have a lot to learn from our native brothers and sisters, a lot to learn. But we meet communities who are beginning to look for new solutions and new answers. And rights of nature combined with their community rights, when we put those together to say, we're going to determine whether it's an issue of fracking, and that they don't want fracking in their community, whether it's an issue of farming and what they want to determine what food and farming looks like in their community. Rights of nature is a companion, as it should be, whether it's community sovereignty or whether it's indigenous, tribal sovereignty. These things are meant to go hand in hand, because the rights of Mother Earth are also our human rights. You cannot use the rights of Mother Earth to reduce the rights of the community and the right of the community to make decisions about how they live their lives in harmony and in balance with Mother Earth. These ordinances are meant to not just establish that, but to assert that and to challenge existing laws that say you can't do that. Those existing laws, federal and state, are unjust. We use the law as a way to, we write laws that challenge the laws that tell us how we're going to live and how we're going to submit to unnatural ways of living in harmony or not in harmony with the earth. The fact that mountaintop removal is legal is insane. It is insane. And what rights do communities have who live there to say, not only will we speak for ourselves, to say no to things like that, but are we not the people who are stewards of this local ecosystem? Do we not have the right to speak for our local ecosystem and to speak for the trees, to speak for the water, to act as stewards about what the balance looks like? We know when the butterflies come. We know when the natural cycles of this place, and those communities that live closest and live in harmony with those practices should be the ones to be making governing decisions about what that looks like. These laws are absolutely not put in place anywhere to tell communities what kinds of natural practices and what kind of ways to live in harmony. No, you can't. You can't make decisions about porcupines. The natural cycle of life is what's being protected. This isn't about somebody telling the lion you can't eat the antelope. That's not what's being protected here. That antelope isn't what's being protected. It is the cycle, the natural cycle of life and the cycle of ecosystems that are being protected, and corporations are never going to do that. The rights and privileges that corporations are granted are unnatural. Rights come by virtue of being born, and our human rights come from creation. as well. Those rights, whether we're talking about whatever word we use, and we use rights because that's the language of the law, and we're challenging that. We know this is the beginning of the work, and eventually we will get past using words like rights. We have a long way to go, and this is the beginning of the journey, is to be challenging the existing system and putting in place something more along the lines of what we really think life should look like and how we should be living. In terms of the subsistence farming or subsistence fishing, that's a natural process. If anything, rights of nature laws would be used by tribes to stop commercial fishing, corporate fishing, from interfering with their natural right to fish in a subsistence way.
Oh yeah.
And I know Ben has more to say and to add, but I thank you for allowing me to be here, to join you, and to join this conversation, because ultimately the work we do, whether we call it rights of nature, whether you continue to teach us what other words we might be looking for in the future as we move through this work, we have already, this concept comes from Indigenous teaching, and we have a lot to learn about how to reconnect with our original instructions. So we thank you for that.